Hello.
Hi Pawan, this is Avi.
Yes. Hi. Hi.
Hi. So let's start. So I am currently working in CDAC Pune. So let's
Okay.
start this mock interview.
So
Can you
just a minute. Uh, is your domain from DITIS or like something else?
date this?
You are working in DITIS, right?
Right,
DTS
right,
domain.
right.
Okay. 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 Thank you. Okay.
Why did you ask?
I'm just curious because
O-
didn't even know how will my interview will goes tomorrow because tomorrow is the interview schedule and like
It's for
don't know
CDAC,
who.
CDAC Pune only, na?
Yeah, CDAC Pune.
I'm aware about the interview and also about the what's the project.
Okay.
So okay, let's start.
Yes.
So tell me about yourself.
Yes. So, hi, thank you for giving me a chance to introduce myself. My name is Pawan Shinde and I'm from Kolhapur. I have done my bachelor's degree in computer science from D.Y. Patil College of Engineering, Kolhapur. And recently I have completed my post-graduation diploma in DITIS. Throughout my academic journey at DITIS, I have learned many new technologies which will help me to contribute it in further organization. During my academics, I have worked on project uh, web deployment and DevSecOps implementation. I implemented a CI/CD pipeline which automates the software development process and Snort for intrusion detection system and cloud AWS CloudWatch for real-time monitoring and Trivi for vulnerability scanning in Docker images and I created one DMG for deploying my web server and my database server. During my project, I understood the challenges I face. Challenges in the DevOps working with the DevOps environment, and I got to know how automation works and how security works. Yes, that's
Okay,
up.
great. So can you explain your project?
Yes.
The basic flow,
Yes.
just the basic flow.
So yes. So firstly, I constructed my workflow like how will my project goes. So I created my workflow or structure of project where I found that I will require three basic base servers for developer machine. So for servers, two machines like Jenkins server and web server. So and one is developers machine. So from developers machine I have configured all that web servers configuration files like index.html and all things and from developers machine I have created a docker file and also Ansible configurations were there. And on Jenkins server, I have written a script for automation of Docker containerization, Git for Git repositories, and for Ansible configuration. From Ansible, I have deployed the required things over web server and one Terraform configuration also there. From Terraform, I have launched that web server through AWS and Trivi vulnerability scanning is also there. So yes, once the pipeline once start, my complete CI/CD pipeline works and my web server is deployed over that machine, which is launched by Terraform, and my web server also started over there.
So you were using a repo, right, for keeping the
Yes,
code?
yes, yes.
And how did you integrate it with Jenkins?
Uh, I created webhook over GitHub, which will trigger the webhook to the Jenkins. Once I push the code over developer's machine, webhook will be generated, and it will trigger automation, or like trigger build over Jenkins.
And how many web servers did you deploy?
Only one.
Only one. Okay.
Yeah.
So why did you use Ansible?
To install required things, like for like on web server, I required a Docker over there, so I installed Docker through Ansible
Okay, but it was just a single server, right? So you could have just created a normal script.
for installing Docker over web server.
Right.
I just thought ki I will showcase some technologies I have used over my project, so that's why I use that Ansible.
Okay. I mean that's great, but if you implement too many tools in your project, the answers would get more and more complex. They would just
Okay, okay,
uh,
okay.
yes. So okay. Let's start. So what is virtualization?
So virtualization is basically hosting a OS within our base machine. Like we can host another OS in our machine or our laptop, so that we can test multiple tasks which we cannot perform in our base machine. We can task that we can test that task over the that virtualized OS.
Okay. So can only a OS be virtualized?
What?
Can you virtualize only OS?
uh, Yes, means I have learned only virtualization about OS. Like on VMware, I have installed my different OS like Windows, Debian, Ubuntu.
Okay. So I mean, there are different types of virtualization. There's network virtualization, storage virtualization, etc. So you have
Okay.
deployed in your project on cloud, right? So
Yes, yes.
the web server that you have deployed, which service have you used?
EC2 Amazon's EC2 instance I have used.
So what is a EC2?
Uh, EC2 is basically Amazon's service which help us to create a virtualized instance of different OS over the cloud.
Right. So it's a VM. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So what are types of you know what is a hypervisor?
Yeah, I know hypervisor is like OS. We can install hypervisor directly on our machine. Like it's like type one virtualize like hypervisor comes under type one virtualization. It comes directly above the OS, directly above the system or OS base
Okay. Yeah. I
bare
mean,
like
you are
it's
correct. You
like
can
bare metal.
continue.
It's like bare metal installation of hypervisor over our base machine or our laptop. Like OS, we can operate hypervisor directly on our machine.
Okay. And what's type 2 hypervisor?
Type 2 hypervisors are like virtual box or VMware comes under type 2 virtualization. Like it's like a software application through which we can use that virtualized operating system.
So which one would you prefer, a type 1 hypervisor or type 2 hypervisor?
Uh, at industry level, type 1 hypervisors is are mostly used because it is more efficient to interact with. but at like our level, like for studying, we use type 2 virtualization.
Okay, nice. Uh, so in have you used EXXI?
No.
Okay,
uh,
so it's a type of hypervisor, type 1 hypervisor.
okay. Can you repeat again what?
It's a type of it's a type 1 hypervisor, ESXi.
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 Okay, type 1 hypervisor.
Uh, I mean, I'm pretty sure they are going to ask you tomorrow what's a ESXi. So study that.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
It's just like
So
have you used yes.
yes, yes,
Hello.
continue. Hello.
Okay. So have you used VMware or what?
Both I have used VMware also and VirtualBox also.
And that for networking, what do you do for networking?
Like for networking, VMware was pretty good for networking. Like it was easy to configure than VirtualBox. So for networking, I preferred VMware over the VirtualBox.
No, I mean that's okay. But what? How did you create a network adapter in your VM
Yes, yes,
environment?
yes. I have created a network adapter in VM environment, like VM8, VM4, I think so. Yeah, VM4
Okay.
and VM8. VM8 is basically used for NAT adapters and host
So
for host.
right. Okay. So that is network level virtualization.
Okay, okay,
Okay.
okay. Means bridge network, host only adapter, and NAT adapter comes under network virtualization, right?
Right.
Okay, okay.
Okay. So what is a container?
Container is basically the necessary container provides the necessary environment required for software deployments. Like it consists of all required. That's it.
Uh, Actually, I did not hear you. Your voice is cracking. Can you repeat that, please?
Okay, okay. Container is basically uh, things which are necessary or required for the deployment of software. It contains all required environment. It consists of required environment.
Okay. So how does it differ from a VM?
Uh, no idea.
Okay. So does a container contain a OS?
Yes, container contains OS because it's like a box which can be like we can use it for deployment at our environment.
Actually, no. The container does not contain the OS. It
OS.
shares the OS which it is built on. Okay. So, for
Okay.
example, you have a Linux system and you are running a container in that Linux system. So it would use the Linux system's OS.
Okay. 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 Means it's not it not contains the OS, but it contain then what like I didn't get that the reference of containers and OS like
Okay, we can do that in the later session if there's any. Okay, so
okay.
that's okay. Uh,
Yes.
so what is Docker?
Docker is like Docker is containerization, image containerization, which helps to maintain that all changes we have made up with our software, and it will store that all changes in one container, and we can deploy that image or container to our project or software. Like it is a image containerization tool basically.
Okay. Yeah, it's a containerization too. Okay, good. So, excuse me 1 minute. Hello.
Yes.
Okay. So how would you deploy a Docker container?
uh, should I tell you commands or like process?
Process and command both.
Like Docker container, for deploying Docker container, we have to first create one repository over Docker Hub. In that we have to push our all things which have been done in our project or our process. Then that uh, image or whatever we have constructed, it will store in that repository, or it will create one image, and by pulling that image we can deploy Docker container over our machine. Docker pull, for that command is docker pull our Docker repository name and image name.
Okay. So you're currently working, assume you're currently working in a secure environment. You don't want to be internet access on your server. So how can you then deploy a Docker container? You don't have access to your Docker hub repository.
Huh. Okay. uh, like I don't want to access internet for a secure environment, like, right?
Right.
I can log in Docker over my command line, like CLI. I can also log in my Docker over my CLI.
No, but you don't have internet access, so you can't log in through CLI also.
Then no, I don't have any idea about it.
So then you would create a local repo for your Docker images.
Okay.
Then you can keep your images, all your Docker images in that repo and share those access to the developer team and etc.
Okay. 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 Got it. Got it.
Okay. Uh,
Yes.
so what is Kubernetes used for then?
No, I don't have any idea about it. Kubernetes.
Kubernetes.
Yeah. No, I know about Kubernetes, but not in that brief.
Okay. So don't know about Kubernetes. Okay. So what are the topics that you are most confident in?
Epsian, I have uh, studied about Epsian, little bit Cosa, and yes, little bit ITM, like DevOps.
Okay. Uh, So can I ask you Linux questions?
Yes,
Okay. So can you tell me the boot up process in Linux?
like the steps included for booting.
Right. Booting up of OS.
Yes, yes, I can. So basically, it includes five processes for booting. First one is BIOS, which initializes the hardware components and looks for booting. And second one is bootloader, which loads the OS to the grub. Third one is kernel, which is the core of the OS. It is loaded into memory. Fourth one is initialization or system D, which initializes the essential service system services which is required for starting of the OS or machine. Third and last one is run level, which we have to target, or which we have to start the on which run level we have to start the machine.
Okay, great. You're not using ChatGPT anyway, right?
No, no,
ChatGPT or
no, no.
internet. Okay.
No.
Okay, good. So have you deployed any servers on Linux?
Yes.
What kind of servers?
DHCP server, DNS servers, and Apache server.
Okay, so how do you deploy a Apache server?
Should I tell you the process?
Yes, the process.
Firstly, I have given static IP to my machine and installed Apache service on the on the Linux machine, and then configured that index, like that default page we have which shown on that port 80 through or www html index.html. I have edited that index.html. After editing that index.html, it will reflect to our default page of Apache.
Okay, so what's the configuration file for Apache?
uh, Apache configuration file is apache.conf, right? Or
Hello.
yes, yes.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay, it's okay. So what other servers have you deployed?
DHCP server, DNS server.
Have you deployed Nginx or any SMTP server?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh,
Pawan,
Yes.
explain the concept of NAT.
Okay. NAT is basically stands for network address translation. Uh, we use NAT for mapping our private IP address to the public IP address. Like if we are working in a local environment and we have want to access internet which is publicly available, so that we required one public IP address. At that time we can use NAT for accessing the public internet through public IP address, where we can map our private IP address to the public IP address.
Okay. What are the types of NAT?
There are mainly two different types of NAT. One is a static NAT, and second is dynamic NAT.
And have you heard about NetPat?
uh, I have little bit idea about NatPat, like network address translation and port address translation.
Okay. Is there?
Port address
Okay. Continue.
Port address translation is used for assigning different ports for single public IP address.
What is the difference between dynamic NAT and NetPat?
Uh, no, I don't have any idea about it.
Okay. Explain the concept of OSPF.
Okay, so OSPF is basically routing protocol, which stands for Open Shortest Path First. OSPF based on link state. It based on link state protocol, and uses shortest first path algorithm. Its administrative distance value is 110, and it is widely used for finding shortest path between two routers and switches.
Is it
Yes.
classless or classful?
It is I think so classful.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Go through it. Okay. What is administrative
Okay.
distance?
Administrative distance is basically like trustworthiness of path which is followed by which is followed during transferring the packets, like most convenient path.
Okay. Avi, you can continue.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
So I think that's it for the interview. बस
Okay.
I would advise you few things. मतलब
Okay.
अभी इतना टाइम तो है नहीं कल के इंटरव्यू के लिए,
हाँ.
बट मेरे को थोड़ा प्रोजेक्ट के बारे में पता है कि व्हाट कैन दे आस्क, तो
Okay.
थोड़ा बहुत
Okay.
प्रिपेयर कर सकते हो. ओके,
Okay.
सो आई वुड सजेस्ट कि study about what is virtualization a little bit.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Okay. Okay.
what is ESXi,
Okay. Yes.
what are servers.
Okay.
Okay, and
हाँ.
then मतलब there is a major part for DevOps in this project. So I would suggest कि don't just say no for Kubernetes because they are currently
Actually, what
deploying a.
happened is कि अभी मतलब कुबरनेटिस बहुत ही जल्दी जल्दी सिखा गया हमें कि मतलब कुछ समझ ही नहीं आया